Okay, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so in the last lecture, we were discussing about the partial derivatives. Okay, so partial derivatives. So we had a very brief discussion about mixed order partial derivatives. In short, we call them mixed derivatives. All right. So what we will do today, first we'll do an example where we will try to see that in general the mixed derivative may not be equal, and what are the circumstances under which we are very sure that the mixed derivatives are equal. So let us start with, so mixed derivative means we are going to evaluate fxy and fxy. So these are the examples of second order mixed derivative, where first we partially differentiate with respect to x followed by y. On the other hand, partially differentiate with respect to y followed by x. So first we'll try to see what are the general case, whether always they are equal or not. If they are not equal, then what are the cases when they may be equal? Okay, so let's start with an example. So example is like I have fxy equals to, I think we have seen this example earlier also, fxy equals to xy into xy into x square minus y square divided by x square plus y square when x comma y is not equal to 0 comma 0 and 0 when x comma y is equal to 0 0. Okay, so here our aim is to find the values of fxy at 0 0 along with fyx at 0 0. So let's see whether both of them are equal or not. So if I recall what is fxy, so fxy is nothing but del del y, sorry, del del y of fx. Let me just confirm it whether I'm doing it. All right, del del y fx, or in better way we can write like this, del f by del x. Let me just confirm. Del to f del x del y fxy. Fine, this is absolutely fine. So we are going to look for this one. Okay, so suppose we are looking this value fxy at say 0 comma 0. So this is going to what? This is going to del del y del f by del x at 0 comma 0. So use the definition of uh, first principle of partial derivative. So it is going to be limit k tending to 0 fx x naught y naught plus k minus fx x naught comma y naught divided by k. Okay, so we can simply write this one in a more simplified way. Limit k tending to 0 fx 0 comma k minus fx 0 comma 0 divided by k. So be careful here. There are not the values at f. These are the values, the partial derivative of f with respect to x at 0 comma k and the partial derivative of x at 0 comma 0. All right, but we do not have its value because to write its value first I need to evaluate. So let's evaluate what is fx and fy. So fx at 0 comma k, this is going to be limit h tending to 0 f x naught that is 0 plus h comma y naught that is k minus f x naught that is 0 y naught it is k divided by h. So we can simplify this limit h tending to 0. This is f h comma k minus f 0 comma k divided by h. So limit h tending to 0. Let us put the values of fhk and f0k. So from the definition fhk, this is going to be h into k into h square minus k square divided by h square plus k square minus f0k, 0 into k and all those things, it will come 0, and then divided by h. So here this h and h will cancel out and this will become limit h tending to 0 k into h square minus k square upon h square plus k square. Okay, so if you see this thing, if you put limit h tending to 0, so it is going to be minus k cube upon k square, so which is minus k. All right, so this is the value of fx at 0 comma k. Similarly, we can evaluate fx at 0 comma 0. So if we do so, fx at 0 comma 0, so limit, I think we have evaluated this one lately. This is f 0 plus h comma 0 minus f 0 comma 0 divided by h. If you put everything, this will come out to be 0 by h, limit h tending to 0, and it is 0. So what we got fx at 0 comma k as minus k and fx at 0 0 as 0. So if you put these values here, what you'll get limit k tending to 0 fx 0k that is minus k minus fx 0 0 that is 0 divided by k. So it k minus k upon k, it becomes minus 1. So the partial derivative fxy at 0 0 came out to be minus 1. Okay, so now That was the first partial mixed partial derivative. Let us evaluate for fyx. So if I go with fyx at 0, 0, fyx at 0, 0, so it is going to be limit. You can write it like this: del 2f upon del x del y, and this was del y del x. All right, so we can write like this: del 2f, or simply del x into fy. Okay, so del x into fy at 0, 0. This is going to be limit. Use the fundamental definition. Limit h tending to 0. It is going to be fy x naught plus h comma y naught minus x naught comma y naught divided by h. Okay, so this will ultimately return the value limit h tending to 0 fy at h comma 0 minus fy at 0 comma 0 divided by h. So let us individually evaluate these values: fy as 0 and fy 0, 0. So fy at h comma 0, use the partial derivative definition. This will be limit k tending to 0, and this will be f x naught, that is h, comma y naught, that is 0, plus k minus f x naught, that is h, y naught, that is 0, divided by k. Okay, sorry, not k, it is h. Sorry, fine, it is k. Here it was h. All right, so this is going to give us the value limit k tending to 0 f h comma k minus f h comma 0 divided by k. All right, here I'll leave the place for further evaluation. So let us put the value of f of hk. So this is going to give us limit k tending to 0, the same h into k into h square minus k square divided by h square plus k square minus f h0, it will be 0, and then divided by k. And further, if you solve it, so what will happen? This k will cancel out this k, and you will get limit k tending to 0 h into h square minus k square divided by h square plus k square. So which is ultimately, if you put the value of k as 0 here, so it will be h cube upon h, which is h. Okay, so this came out to be the value of fy at h comma 0. Similarly, we will go for fy at 0 comma 0. So this will be as usual from the definition of partial derivative: limit k tending to 0, k tends to 0, f of x naught, that is 0, comma y naught plus k, that is k, minus f x naught y naught, that is 0, 0, divided by k. So all this value is also 0 and this value is also 0. So it will be limit k tending to 0, 0 minus 0 upon k, which is 0. Okay, so we got both the values here, and if I put them out here, so it will return limit h tending to 0. The value of fy h naught is h minus fy00, it is 0 divided by h. So h upon h, it becomes 1 and it came out to be 1. So we saw that fxy on the previous page, we evaluated fxy at 0 0, it came out to be minus 1, and at the same time fyx at 0 0, it came out to be 1. So this is a counter example which suggests that in general the mixed derivative may not be equal. Okay, it's not like fxy is equal to fyx always. Okay, and on the other hand, this was also an example where you can learn how to evaluate the mixed derivative when the function is defined in a piecewise form. Okay, now we will write a statement. I wish we can prove it, but it's beyond the scope of your studies. So we will write a statement which will briefly tell us under what circumstances these mixed derivatives are going to be equal. Okay, so it is called as a mixed derivative theorem. Mixed derivative theorem. Okay, if xy and its partial derivatives, write the statement if fxy and its partial derivatives fx, fy, fxy, fx, fy, fxy and fyx are defined throughout an open region, are defined throughout an open region T containing a comma b a comma b and all these partial derivatives partial derivatives are continuous then fxy at a comma b will be equal to fyx at a comma b. So basically when we got a function fxy uh, of that type where these partial derivatives with respect to x, with respect to y, and their mixed partial derivatives, they are defined, means they exist throughout an open region in the neighborhood of AB, that we say like an open region D containing A comma B. and all these partial derivatives fx, fy, fxy, fyx are continuous also, then in that case, the mixed derivative at that particular point a comma b is going to be equal. Okay, so that was the statement. If you find a function like a polynomial function, like multinomial, which has x and y both, so polynomial functions are the functions which are continuous everywhere, and they exist for all the values of provided in the domain. So if you find any function where your function is like a polynomial function, then there is no issue. The mixed derivative are going to be the same. So later on, we will keep the record of this particular statement. Later on, when we'll derive some more concrete examples and concepts of calculus of two variables, we will use this idea to accomplish those concepts. Okay, so we are just keeping the record of this particular statement. Okay. So basically, why this mixed derivative kind of thing is very important sometimes. If I give you an example, suppose you have function z and it is defined like xy plus e to the power y plus e to the power 2y divided by y square plus y plus 1. Okay, and if I ask you to find del 2z by del x del y. Okay, so what's the usual way? First you will evaluate del z by del y by simply partially differentiating this function z, treating x as a constant and differentiate with respect to y. Okay, but if you carefully see the definition of this function, what is happening, if you try to differentiate it y with respect to y, even treating x as a constant, it's not going to be very smooth. You need to use that different quotient formula of the derivatives, and it's a quite a lengthy thing, and you need some time to even calculate its derivative. Okay, but if you carefully see this function, what is happening here? This function is actually defined everywhere. It's not a polynomial function, but in the down where y square plus y plus 1 is there, you can see that this y square plus y plus 1 is everywhere defined. Okay, so if you try to evaluate its continuity and the continuity of the partial derivatives of this function z, they are going to be continuous everywhere. Or in other words, whatever mixed derivative theorem we have stated just above this example, it satisfies for this particular example. And when it satisfies this particular example, then what we can say? We can say that their mixed derivatives are going to be equal. So del 2z by del x del y, this will be equal to del 2z by del y del x. Okay. So if they are equal, then instead of evaluating del 2z by del x del y, if I evaluate del 2z by del y del x, means del y del z by del x. Okay, so if you evaluate this one, so then this is going to be pretty easy. Del z by del x, and treating y as a constant, you will get only y, and del y it is 1. So here you see, by using this particular concept, we are able to solve the same problem with a very less amount of time with a good efficiency. But on the other hand, if you directly go for the evaluation of del 2z by del x del y, you will arrive at the same result, but it requires more effort and more calculation. So this is uh, one of the good application of this mixed derivative theorem, where we can evaluate the required with a very less amount of computation. Okay, so that was one of the benefit of using mixed derivative theorem when this theorem is applicable. Now I will define a definition that is called the homogeneous function. Homogeneous function. Okay, a function fxy fxy defined on R2, and we can then extend this definition for any number of variables defined on R2 is homogeneous function function of degree n if f of lambda x comma lambda y is equal to lambda to the power n f of x comma y. Okay, where lambda is some real number. Okay, so if simply whatever function is given to you, if you wanted to check whether this function is homogeneous or not, simply replace x by lambda x and y by lambda y, and if you are able to take lambda complete out of the function the way it is written here, then that function is a homogeneous function. Okay, we can see some examples as well. Fxy equals to x square plus y square upon x plus y. So if I simply replace x by lambda x and y by lambda y, so what will happen? We'll get lambda square x square plus y square upon lambda times x plus y. One lambda will be cancelled out with one lambda, and you will get lambda times x square plus y square upon x plus y. So it is lambda times fxy. So this function is a homogeneous function of degree 1. Okay, so in this way you can define several more examples. Okay, here the objective of defining this homogeneous function is to prove a very good theorem on homogeneous functions which involves the partial derivatives. So Euler's theorem on homogeneous function. Euler's theorem for homogeneous functions. Okay, so let us see what is this theorem. First we'll write its statement, then we'll prove it. Let fxy be a homogeneous function of degree n. Let fxy be a homogeneous function of degree n defined on R2, defined on R2, and fx fy also exists means fxy is defined, as well as we can evaluate the partial derivatives fx and fy, and they will exist. Okay, then x fx plus y fy is equal to n times the same function f, where n is actually the degree of that homogeneous function. Okay, so we can prove it easily, and for proving that, a homogeneous function can also always be defined like in this way as well. We can define like f of xy equals to x to the power n phi of y by x. This is also a definition of same homogeneous function. Either you follow this one or this one. So let's start with this function fxy equals to x to the power n phi some function phi of y by x. Phi of y by x. So it's same if you wanted to express this function, which we did as an example. Take divide by x square in the numerator as well as denominator, and you will get the same y function of y by x and some x common. Okay, so it's not an issue. If we have the homogeneous function, we can express it in this way, or y to the power n x to the x by y on the other way. Okay, so if I evaluate its partial derivative, so fx is going to be, we'll use the fundamental rule of principle, not fundamental principle, just how we differentiate any given function. And into x to the power n minus 1, we are using the product rule, y by x plus x to the power n phi prime y by x into minus y upon x square. And on the other hand, if I try to evaluate fy treating x as a constant, so it will become x to the power n phi prime y by x into 1 upon x. Okay, now simply you take x fx plus y fy. So x into fx, put the value of fx, it is n x to the power n minus 1 phi of y by x minus, this is going to be x to the power n minus 2 into y into phi prime y by x plus y into fy x to the power n minus 1 phi prime y by x. Okay, so if you carefully see what is happening, you will get here n into x to the power n when you multiply with x, phi of y by x minus x to the power n minus 1 y phi prime y by x plus same function with positive sign y x to the power n minus 1 phi prime y by x, and this cancelled out this one, and what you got? You got n, and this x to the power n phi y by x is nothing but fxy. fxy. So this simply proves this particular result. Okay. So that was about uh, two about a homogeneous function and this Euler's theorem. There is one more part of Euler's theorem which I'm leaving for you as an exercise. It is available in the practice problem as well. Suppose that same fxy, it is defined throughout an open region D, and along with fx fy we have mixed derivatives as well which are existing then, and fx is homogeneous. Okay, then you try to prove this result: fx x square fxx plus 2xy fxy plus y square fyy equals to n into n minus 1 fxy. Okay, obviously here this f is homogeneous. F is homogeneous function, homogeneous of degree n. Okay, so the way we did last result, you need to do it in the same way. Okay, and then there are many practice problems I will be sharing with you. You need to solve them all. Now I'll take the queries. I will call the name, only that person will speak. Isha. Aditya Kumar. आदित्य।
हेलो सर।
हाँ पूछिए, क्या पूछ रहे हैं आप?
सर मिक्स डेरिवेटिव थ्योरम थोड़ी दोबारा समझा दीजिए।
मिक्स डेरिवेटिव थ्योरम ये कहती है कि अगर आपके इफ द पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव्स दे आर existing and if they are continuous, okay, because suppose I can take an example. What is the meaning of continuity of fx? Okay, suppose fx is this function x square plus xy plus 1. What would be, sorry, this is f not fx, and what would be fx? This is going to be 2x plus y. Okay, so again if you see in general fx is a function, so this is a polynomial, this is also a polynomial, so fx is also a continuous function. So what mixed derivative theorem says? If fx, fy, fxy and fyx both are, all of them are existing and they are continuous functions at a comma b, then at a comma b their mixed derivative values will be same. Okay,
ओके
रवि
तो सर
रंजन।
एक बार वो पेज खोल दीजिए मिक्स डेरिवेटिव थ्योरम वाला, मैं स्क्रीनशॉट लेना।
रवि रंजन।
थैंक यू सर।
राजन धीमन।
सर वो 42 पेज पे यही वाली एग्जांपल समझाना दोबारा से एक बारी।
इसमें I asked you a question to find the del mixed derivative of this function z. Okay. What I ask you, find the
sir.
del 2z by del x del y. So if you go for direct evaluation, so what first you will evaluate? You will evaluate del z by del y, then partial derivative of del z by del y with respect to x. So if you directly go for this evaluation, so then you need to differentiate this entire function as well, which is available in the quotient form. So it will require some computation. But if you carefully see this example, so this example satisfies all the criterions which are mentioned in the mixed derivative theorem. So whether you evaluate del 2z by del x del y or del 2z by del y del x, both are going to be the same. So instead of evaluating del 2z by del x del y, if I evaluate del 2z del y del x, the value of it is going to be the same del 2z by del x del y, which is very easy to find. Okay.
ओके सर, आगे समझ। थैंक यू।
Ayush.
सर मैं सर 43 पे डाउट सर।
आयुष आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
सर 43 पेज नंबर 43 पे डाउट था सर।
क्या किस में डाउट था?
पेज नंबर 43 पे सर।
43। हाँ बताइए
सर जो आपने ये क्वेश्चन किया ना सर, x की पावर n, ये वाला क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया सर। fx आपने किस तरह किया?
आपका अगर I told you if you have an homogeneous function, either you represent it like f of lambda x, lambda y, lambda to the power n fxy, the same can be expressed as fxy equals to x to the power n phi of y by x. जैसे ये जो पहला एग्जाम्पल हमने लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है, अगर इसमें हम एक्स स्क्वायर से ऊपर नीचे डिवाइड कर दें, ओके,
यस सर।
तो आपको क्या मिलेगा? यू विल गेट दिस वैल्यू y स्क्वायर अपॉन एक्स स्क्वायर, ठीक है,
यस सर।
1 प्लस, और नीचे क्या मिलेगा आपको? और नीचे आपको मिल जाएगा
1 प्लस वाई बाई एक्स।
यहाँ एक्स स्क्वायर से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए एंड 1 प्लस वाई बाई एक्स इंटू एक्स, ठीक है, ये जो मैंने लिखा है।
यस सर।
अब ये x से एक x कैंसिल हो गया, तो आपको बचा क्या? You got only x into 1 plus y by x whole square upon 1 plus y by x. तो ये जो पूरा फंक्शन है दिस वन, दिस इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ y by x. तो हम इसको कैसे लिख सकते हैं? x into phi of y by x. So this is
Yes,
what
sir.
I have written in general. Okay.
ओके सर।
ठीक है
सर आपने सर फाइव का भी डिफरेंशिएशन किया है सर, यहाँ सर ये है ना एन, आपने जब एफ एक्स निकाला तो ये क्या है, एन एक्स एन माइनस वन 5 वाई बाई एक्स प्लस ये वाला समझ नहीं आया सर।
अरे यार ये दो फंक्शन है ना, a और b, आप
Yes,
एफ
sir.
एक्स एफ इंटू जी को डिफ्रेंशिएट करते हो तो कौन सा फॉर्मूला लगाते हो? पहले
Product
f का डेरिवेटिव, तो प्रोडक्ट रूल ही तो है ये।
सर इसमें वाई बाई एक्स भी लिखा हुआ है।
y बाई एक्स से क्या दिक्कत है आपको? जब हम x के रिस्पेक्ट में कर रहे हैं तो y तो कांस्टेंट होगा ना, तो यू शुड ट्रीट इट लाइक अ फाई ऑफ c बाई एक्स। फाई ऑफ c बाई एक्स का डिफरेंशिएशन क्या होगा? गो एंड सी द चेन रूल ऑफ डिफरेंशिएशन, ठीक है,
यस सर।
आप चेन रूल देखना, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा। नेक्स्ट,
हेलो
हेलो
हाँ
सर।
बताइए।
सर, जो हमें
सर जो
हमें सर
ईलर्स
पार्शियल
थ्योरम में लास्ट,
एक मिनट अमृतदीप, पहले आप बोलिए, हाँ क्या बोल रहे हो अमृतदीप?
सर जैसे इन जनरल सर कोई भी फंक्शन है सर, उसका हम पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव जब देखते हैं सर, तो हमें बोथ साइड्स की लिमिट चेक करनी पड़ेगी ना कि RHL और LHL दोनों इक्वल आए, तभी हम कह पाएंगे ना कि वो उसका डेरिवेटिव एग्जिस्ट करता है।
जैसे लिमिट x टेंडिंग टू 0 sin x बाई x कितना होता है?
सर 1।
1 होता है। इसमें आप LHL RHL कब चेक करते हो?
नहीं सर,
कहीं चेक
जैसे
किया
हम
आपने LHL?
डेरिवेटिव सर जैसे हम लेते हैं कि f ऑफ 0 प्लस h माइनस f ऑफ 0 बाय h, उसकी लिमिट h अप्रोचेस 0। सर उसमें हम RHL और LHL चेक करेंगे ना कि मतलब दोनों अगर उन वैल्यू सेम आएगी तभी हम उसका उस फंक्शन की उस पॉइंट पे डेरिवेटिव डिफाइन कर सकते हैं कि उस वैल्यू पे उस पॉइंट पे ये डेरिवेटिव होगा।
हाँ बिल्कुल। When I am saying कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट कर रही है तो इसका मतलब है कि LHL और RHL दोनों मिल रहे हैं हमें और दोनों इक्वल है, तभी तो लिमिट आई। अगर LHL RHL ही इक्वल नहीं होंगे तो लिमिट कहाँ से आएगी? हम
सर तो
हमेशा
जैसे
थोड़ी
क्वेश्चंस
LHL
होंगे
RHL निकालते हैं।
जैसे क्वेश्चंस होंगे उसमें हमें दोनों साइड लिमिट चेक करनी पड़ेंगी ना हर बार।
जहां आपको जरूरत है वहां आप चेक करोगे ना, जैसे मॉड कुछ आ जाए देन यू नीड टू चेक LHL RHL। इट्स अ सिंपल प्रॉब्लम ऑफ लिमिट। आप जब भी लिमिट निकालते हो LHL RHL की बात आप वहां करते हो जहां पे फंक्शन थोड़ा सा क्रूशियल होता है, एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू है या कुछ ऐसा है कि फंक्शन अपना नेचर चेंज कर रहा है किसी पॉइंट के अराउंड। बट अगर फंक्शन आपका इट्स अ यूजुअल फंक्शन तो आप LHL निकालो चाहे RHL निकालो दोनों एक ही वैल्यू आएंगी। आप अगर सेफ साइड चेक करना चाहते हैं यू कैन चेक, देयर इज नो इशू।
ओके सर,
ठीक है,
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
ओके नेक्स्ट।
सर ईलर्स थ्योरम में जो लास्ट लाइन बताया था एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिएगा।
आयलर्स थ्योरम में लास्ट लाइन ये
लास्ट
जो
पेज,
जिसपे
नहीं लास्ट पेज में है सर, एक एग्जांपल दिए थे।
विद द सेम स्टेटमेंट अगर हम सेकेंड ऑर्डर के पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव्स भी निकाल सकते हैं तो जो ये रिलेशन है पहले एक्स एफ एक्स वाई एफ वाई वाला लिखा था हमने, उसी तरीके से एक रिलेशन और भी है जिसको हम प्रूफ कर सकते हैं। ये मैंने एज एन एक्सरसाइज दिया आपको।
Yes.
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट। सुमित पूछिए, क्या पूछ रहे हैं आप?
सो ये जो लास्ट एग्जांपल है सर, इसमें हमें फंक्शन मानना पड़ेगा सर, जो एफ ऑफ एक्स वाई बाई एक्स वाला
नहीं,
करने
एफ
के लिए।
एक्स ये दिस इज इन जनरल, ये इन जनरल होमोजीनियस फंक्शन है। आपको या तो गिवन होगा या तो इट्स यू कैन फॉलो द डेफिनेशन ऑफ होमोजीनियस फंक्शन। ठीक
सर
है,
हम फिर इसे प्रूव कैसे करेंगे सर?
जैसे पहले वाले को प्रूफ किया है, जब हमने सिंगल डेरिवेटिव एक्स एफ एक्स प्लस वाई एफ वाई को प्रूफ किया है तो
अच्छा।
उसमें हमने कोई फंक्शन थोड़ी अज्यूम किया है कि से लेट्स एफ एक्स इक्वल्स टू एक्स प्लस वाई। इन
So
जनरल
वो
आई हैव टेकन अ फंक्शन। ठीक है,
पाई की शेप में हमने सर कंसीडर नहीं किया सर, वो में
क्या
बनाकर सर,
क्या कंसीडर नहीं किया?
जो हमने सर,
फिर से बोलो क्या कह रहे हो?
सो जो हमने प्रूव किया था वो थ्योरम
हाँ